Welcome to Unleashed, the show that explores how to thrive as an independent professional. I'm your host, Will Bachman. Today I'm going to discuss MixMax, which gives you email superpowers. Currently, MixMax only works with Gmail or G Suite Mail. So if you use Outlook or Microsoft 365 or some other email tool, you'll need to do a search for a MixMax competitor that works with your email. I imagine they must exist, but I am not familiar with them. If you use Gmail or G Suite email, then you're in luck. So what does MixMax allow you to do? Number one, you can create a template. A template can be just a phrase that you want to insert into an email to save you from typing that same phrase over and over all the time. For example, when I'm composing an email, if I'm in the body of the email and I type semicolon and then letters CAL for Cal, MixMax inserts into my email the phrase, "If you'd like to book a call with me, you can find time that works for you on my calendar with my Calendly link." And on the words Calendly link, it has the hyperlink to my Calendly. I discuss Calendly, by the way, in episode 73 of this show. So that's an example of a template that you can just insert into an email. A template can also be an entire email. So there's two ways to create a template. You can write an email in your regular Chrome browser Gmail compose window and then save that email as a template from your Gmail compose window. Or you can go to the MixMax website and compose a template there. And with that method, it gives you additional options, such as you can add a person who will always get CC'd or be CC'd on that email, and you can also insert various variables. To insert a variable, when you have Gmail open in a Chrome browser and you have click to compose a message, MixMax adds an extra toolbar with functions that include meetings, remind me, templates, sequences, and follow-ups. So you open up Compose, you click on Template, and then you can scroll down and insert into your email a template that you have written in the past. That template can include variables, and if you had a variable, for example, first name as a variable, MixMax will have a pop-up window and ask you to type in what the first name is, or if you had a variable for a company name, what the company name is, and so forth. Now, if this is all that MixMax did, I wouldn't be talking to you about it, since Gmail already does have a template feature, which you can find by clicking on the three little vertical dots in a compose window on the bottom right, just next to the trash can. MixMax templates are more powerful. You can, for example, save them in folders and organize them, but that isn't that much more amazing than the built-in template tool. The real power comes when we get to superpower number 2, sequences. With a sequence, you can create an email template, and then you can program logic such that if the recipient does not click on a link or does not reply to your outgoing email or does not open the email or some other logic, after a certain number of days, MixMax will automatically send a follow-up email that you compose. And to compose a sequence, you'll go to the MixMax website, you create a sequence, and then you can write the first stage. And after writing that first stage, you click Add Another Stage, you fill out the logic of when that second stage will get sent out. And you can have it go out, for example, if no reply was received to the first email, or if no link was clicked, or various other criteria. You control how many days or hours you want to wait, and you can control if it's weekdays or just total days elapsed. You also control what time of day the second email will go out. You aren't limited to 2 stages. You can add a third or a fourth or a fifth. I'm not sure what the limit is, but you can certainly add multiple stages so you keep pinging the person. You've probably been the recipient of these email sequences, and I'll say here that as the sender of sequences, with great power comes great responsibility. In some cases, people do legitimately appreciate getting follow-up reminders. I know that I appreciate getting a reminder about tasks that I actually want to do and that's relevant for me. Maybe I get an email with some action item on a day when I'm totally swamped and I can't get to it, and then I forget about it. So I appreciate getting a follow-up email reminder. But you don't want to spam people. If you do, you can get punished. So if enough people flag your email as spam, and then you can get blacklisted, and your emails will start getting shunted over to the junk mail folder of recipients. So use this power sparingly and wisely, and be thoughtful and try to make sure that you only send a sequence if you think the person actually wants to receive it. MixMax does allow you to add an unsubscribe link, and if someone clicks that link, MixMax won't let you send to that email address again with that sequence or any other. And that is a good protection for you, and you certainly should include the unsubscribe link, since it's much better for a person to unsubscribe than to flag your email as spam. Superpower number 3, mail merge. So sending one sequence is helpful. Being able to send out a batch of customized sequences is really powerful. With MixMax, if you want to send out a batch of sequences, you first prepare a CSV file with all the data fields in columns. The minimum you'd need is a column of email addresses. If you want to customize each email with the person's first name, then you'd have a column of first names as well. You don't need to stop there. Perhaps you want to mention their company name in the email. You could include the company name as a variable in your sequence, and then you'd put the company name as a third column in your CSV file. So you'd have email address, first name, and company name, and you can have more. When you want to send the batch, you go to MixMax website, you navigate to the sequence you want to send, and you click on Add Recipients. MixMax will compare your upload to all those who have unsubscribed from your emails in the past, and if someone has unsubscribed, it will remove that person from the sequence, which is, of course, a good thing because you don't want to spam people. Superpower number 4. MixMax allows you to easily schedule emails to be sent at some point in the future. This is such an obvious feature that it strikes me as a little strange that Google doesn't build send later into the basic Gmail interface, but they don't. If you're working on a Saturday night, for example, and you're drafting emails to clients, you might prefer not to have those emails released on Saturday at 10 p.m. For one thing, it's a little creepy to reach out to someone at that hour and not that socially acceptable. Second, there's a decent chance that by the time the client's ready to respond to emails on Monday morning, your email will be buried and never get seen. MixMax allows you to schedule those emails to go out when you want. Even better, MixMax knows when your recipients are most likely to be active checking their email based on all the other millions of emails that people have sent using MixMax. When you are composing an email in the Chrome browser, you can click Send as you normally would, or click Send Later, which pulls up a chart that shows the recipient's forecast email activity level for the next 24 hours and a recommended send time when MixMax thinks the person is most active. When you're sending a batch of emails, you can choose the Smart Send option, and for each recipient, MixMax will send at the time when that recipient is most likely to be active responding to emails. Superpower number 5, your emails can show rich HTML. So if you're composing an email in your regular browser in Chrome and you insert a hyperlink to some website and you have MixMax installed, then MixMax will convert that hyperlink into a preview of the actual web page. If you paste in a link to a YouTube video, for example, MixMax will show a thumbnail for that video right in your email. Most of the time, I will cancel that preview and I'll just send a link, but in some cases, it's really cool to have that preview as a nice visual of what the person's going to get if they click on your link. Superpower number 6. You can see who has opened an email and when and how many times. And this is one of the most amazing superpowers. So let's say you've sent a proposal to a client and you haven't heard back in 3 days. Did the client get it? Did they open it and then ignore it? Did they just miss it in their email? Who knows? With MixMax, you know. If a client just never opened the email at all, you might follow up differently than if the email has been opened 15 times. And if they've opened it 15 times, that might suggest that the person has forwarded an email to her colleagues. You won't know the identity of who is opening the email, but you'll see all those opens against the name of the person that received it. Usually, if there are a lot of opens like that, it probably means the email is getting forwarded around the office and a bunch of people are opening the email there, and maybe they're talking about it internally. So knowing if someone's opened your email is pretty powerful. If you send the email to two individuals, client A and client B, MixMax will tell you if client A opened it and when, and if client B opened it and when. So it does differentiate and tells you individually who opened it. You see all this open data right in Chrome when you click on a sent email. Additionally, if you go to the MixMax site, you can see comprehensive metrics on that email sequence, how many you have sent, how many got opened, and how many led to a click. Superpower number 7. MixMax has a scheduling tool that is somewhat similar to Calendly, in which you can share your calendar availability with your recipient, and that person can pick a time and book it on your calendar right from within the email. I haven't used that tool since I'm happy with Calendly, but if you don't have a scheduling tool, you might like that superpower. Superpower number 8. You can do a variety of simple surveys within the body of the email. You can include a poll or a yes/no question or simple Q&A or a group event poll. They don't actually have to click and go out to some other website. They can do it right from within the email. I've tried the survey feature. It worked okay, and I should probably experiment to learn how to use it more effectively myself. And I believe that you can set it up to have all the results saved to a Google Sheet. I have not mastered the survey feature. I have got a SurveyMonkey account, and so I usually use SurveyMonkey, but if you want to do polls in your email or yes/no questions, nice way to engage folks, it's a pretty cool power. So hope this episode has been helpful. If you use another email plugin tool other than MixMax, I'd love to hear about it. You can email me at unleashed@umbrex.com. Thanks for listening.